is Beth Carpenter, and she's going to be speaking today on medical intuition, body scanning made easy. Please help me welcome Beth Carpenter.
Let me see about taking this off here, just so I have a little bit more movement. I'm glad to see all y'all here. And this is to talk about body scanning made easy. I am a naturopath and a medical intuitive. And as a medical intuitive, I didn't go through training like what Carolyn Mace does or other people like that. I was actually doing it before their books came out. And it was something that I realized that I developed totally on my own. I was going through a very serious cancer experience, and through that process is when my medical intuitive / body scanning, I like to call it body scanning, was developed. And because the doctors that I was working with, they're like, well, you know, keep an eye on things and let us know if something's not quite working, you know. And I didn't realize that what I was doing is I was checking on the inside through this internal site to see what was going on. And one day I remember I was out with my mom somewhere, and I think we were at a grocery store or a bank, and I went, oh my gosh, look at that person's liver. Do you see what's wrong with their liver? And she said, no. And I went, oh, maybe I'm seeing something other people aren't seeing. And so I realized that I had honed in a gift that I could use to help other people. And I've always believed in things and making them simple. I like to provide things for people that is simple, that you can do yourself. I mean, you can stand on one foot and jump around, and ceremony and ritual is wonderful, but really things are a lot simpler than what we try to do. Most of the time it's like we try to make it really complicated. You know, and so even though I've talked about being a medical intuitive in the past, I felt like it might be interesting if we talk about how you can do it. All right? And has anybody experienced or done anything with like body scanning, medical intuitive before? Okay, wonderful. Anybody else? Oh, he's not raising his hand, but your point. Okay, good, good. Is this something y'all feel comfortable with? Everybody's kind of closing off, you know. If anything's crossed, open up. There we go. Yeah. It's real interesting, even when you're body scanning somebody, if they're so compressed in, it's like, oh, there's a crimp somewhere, and you open up, oh yeah, uncross please, you know, cutting off some circulation. This talk really is so that we can do this live in the moment, and I'm going to direct you on exactly what to do. Are you guys open to that? Yes. Cool, okay. And it doesn't matter whether you think you're right or wrong. Please don't judge yourself. That's not what this is about. Okay? It's just about doing, and through experience and doing it repeatedly, you get better. Okay? So take some deep breaths in and out. Just get yourself relaxed. You're in this room on this beautiful day. Just allow yourself to relax. You don't worry about anything else. Not about needing an oil change or needing to go eat. Doesn't matter. And I'd like for you to visualize that you have a screen, like a movie screen, right up here between your brows. That third eye, the forehead. We can keep it as simple as possible. And it's actually easier for people, especially in the beginning, to body scan with their eyes closed than open. With their open, you can get really distracted. And you're going to point your eyes up to that space in between. I like to scan from the head down. Some people like to scan from the feet up. And all you begin to do is allow for your eyes to traverse back and forth. This is very similar to what I would call remote viewing, but instead of looking elsewhere, like in another country or a building, you're looking inside here, all right? You can do this with yourself, and what we're doing today is I'm having you look inside yourself. And I'd like for you to practice with somebody else where you each scan the other. On a beautiful day like this, y'all can sit in the grass afterwards and do this. Okay? So begin to traverse your eyes across from the top of your head and begin to work down. And just move very, very slowly. And I'm going to have you continue to scan things that you're going to look for while you're scanning to make it easier. Shadowing. The density of the shadowing. Is it just a light haze or is it dark? And if you go to look and you're going, well, everything's dark in there. Pretend like you've got like a great big windshield wiper right on top here. And clean it off. If you like the little squeegee sponges, use that. But wipe it off. Clean it off. And as you're scanning and you're looking at shadowing and density, look at color. Is there color? Is the color clear? Or is it murky? Does the color or the shadowing have any motion to it? Maybe when you're scanning an area, there may be an area that might be crying or screaming or confused. Make note of that. Because when we're done, I'm going to have you write this down on what you're seeing. And it's not about any sort of judgment. As you're scanning through your body, are there any empty compartments? Anytime somebody's had some sort of surgery, it's real interesting because I'll scan their body and I'm like, oops, this spot's empty. Did you have something removed? And oftentimes they have. Occasionally it's been a precursor to a surgery, though, where something's about to be removed. Always remember to breathe while you're scanning. Because sometimes when you're scanning, if all of a sudden something stops or there's some sort of block where you can't see any further, if you take some deep breaths, it allows it to move. Where you're at right now, if you have scanned from head to toe, just raise your hand. Don't say anything, but just raise your hand. Okay. The ones that have scanned own body from head to toe, make some notes. The ones that are still scanning, keep scanning. Don't worry about finding solutions at this time. Just focus on the scanning portion, because it'll become more clear as I begin to answer questions afterwards. Occasionally, when you go to scan a body, not normally yourself, but somebody else, you won't be able to scan their body. It'll be like stuck at a certain point. So you look at that block, or sometimes there will actually be a person. I remember scanning this person one time, and I went to scan him, and I said, "Whoops, excuse me, did your mother just die?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "Well, she doesn't want me to look at your body. What's her name?" And so he gave me her name, and I called her by name. It says, "Okay, I'm not going to hurt your son. I'm just going to scan his body. Will you please let me?" And she's like, "Okay." You know, but she was protecting her son, even though he was all grown up, from the other side. So, how many more people have finished scanning? Raise your hands. Okay. Go ahead and make some notes. Believe it or not, body scanning is that simple. It's then deciphering what you see and how to begin to see more that just takes practice. That's all it is. And trusting what it is that you see. With the work that I do, the most challenging thing to go full time, and I've been doing this many, many years, was to say what I saw no matter what. All right. I remember a woman coming to see me. She was an EMS person, and she just gone through a physical. You know, she got a clean bill of health, and I told her, I said, "I'm glad you got a clean bill of health, and I'm seeing this activity going on in your breast. Will you please consider doing some things to ensure that this does not take any further direction of cancer in your body?" And she actually discarded it. She thought I was just, you know, off my rocker, being flighty or whatever. You know, sometimes people think what you see, oh, they're off on that one. And she came back a year later after going through a radical mastectomy. Okay? So things show up before the person may be aware of it. And it's good not to be frightened of it, but to take some sort of action. Always come from the place of gratitude and grace in what it is that you're doing. Not to create a fearful situation with a person. Just really come from heart to heart. Who wants to talk about some of the things that they saw so I can help you to understand it better? Yes, go ahead.
Didn't see anything.
Okay. Okay.
As I saw, you know, what I was supposed to be seeing, I just stand and I just see dark. And sometimes I see flashes of color.
Okay. And
I didn't see it this time at all.
okay. When you saw dark, did you see any or feel any emotion?
No.
Okay, it was just completely numb. Okay. You can look at a couple things as one, what's going on in your life right now. Sometimes there's a protective mechanism. It's like, okay, I don't need to feel anything else in my life. Let's just keep everything. It's in a way of trying to keep things status quo, but it's also a red flag that, you know, even though this may be going on, maybe I need to do some things to just help my body through this difficult period. Then go in and rescan. Okay, and I am scanning at my booth, so, you know, you're happy to, or welcome to come over there. But that does happen, because sometimes if I start to scan, there'll be a block or a resistance, and it could also be a fear inside of not, well, I don't want to see anything. And it's recognizing all the different possibilities and then saying, it's okay, I'm okay. No matter what I see, it's okay. And that makes it a lot easier. Yeah, yeah. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am. The front of your body was like a window? Okay. Okay, I got the first part, that the top of it was still a little grungy. And then what was the part when you went down? Right. Okay, so when you scanned down to your breast, you said your head opened up? Okay. Okay. Okay, good. And I think pay attention to those signs when what they give you is sunshine. That is a message, is one of the ways to clear your head. I think sometimes people get so caught up in being in buildings and work and stuff. And I would also look at sunshine as also that of consuming yellow foods. And when I talk about foods being a certain color, this does not mean dyed food, okay? This is naturally occurring color in food. So I would definitely bring in some yellow foods. I would get some sunshine. Sunshine helps to heat the body and increases circulation. It works as a dilator because of that. And the head is a very difficult area to get circulation in. So when you're thinking of terms of dilators. So that's really good. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. It was very difficult to hear you. And could everybody hear her, or was it just me? Oh, you could? Okay. Well, good. That's great. All right. Was there anything else that you'd like to share that you had questions on before I go on?
I guess I was hoping for some colors.
It actually, every situation is different, and if we have time, let's see, we may not have time. I was going to see if we had time where we could work with somebody else and scan somebody else, and maybe we can do it out here in the grass. And sometimes you'll see a lot of colors, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes some people are more visual. They pick up things more visually, so they'll get more colors, where other times some people are more kinesthetic, and instead of seeing a color, they'll get an emotion. And because what happens, this body, when it's functioning at its optimum, is supposed to be in absolute harmony and synergy with itself, but it becomes very fragmented. It's like it becomes separate parts. The upper body is separate from the lower body, or an arm is separate from a leg, and we're even taught in the medical profession, in allopathic medicine, that everything is separate. It's really about dissection instead of the integration or the synergy. And so as soon as you bring that back into synergy, all of a sudden you're working as a whole, instead of going, oh, I got to have a pilot for my leg, because it's not working, or this is running on its own. I mean, people even say in their daily life, oh, I'm just in my head, So it's about having that synergy. Yeah. Anybody else? I'd like for someone else to share. Yes.
I'm actually sick right now.
Okie doke.
So when I scanned, I did see a lot of colors, but I don't know if it's just because I have like stuffy nose, that must mean this, cough, that must mean this. I see a lot of different colors, and I'm wondering what those colors mean.
Okay.
I saw like green,
Okay.
brown, pink, yellow.
Well, let's break it down in the different areas. First, do not make assumptions about what you're seeing, because you don't know enough about it yet to do that. And that's something to do across your life. When you make assumptions, and this happens a lot between men and women, all right? Well, he just doesn't love me because he didn't do blah, blah, blah. And he's like, dang, did I put air in the tire? Okay, it's nothing personal, so don't make assumptions in life, and don't make assumptions about what you see or you don't see. Respect what you saw, and then let me help you in understanding. Okay, so explain to me what happened, where you scanned, and what you saw, and I'll help you.
Okay, in my brain I saw it was kind of like clear but lots of shadows, and heart I felt like kind of a murky brown.
Okay.
Lungs kind of shadowy and green.
Okay.
And right side here I felt like something was missing. I don't even know where my liver is.
Okay.
I felt like the base, my spine.
Okay. How far down on your spine was the purple?
Just like kind of like
At the tailbone? Okay.
and then legs were orange, knees were golden, and I have a shin here that's pink, and a foot that's yellow.
Okay.
A lot of colors.
Well, it definitely said that there's more activity going on in your lower body than your upper body. And the fact if you've got some congestion with the murkiness and the green, that would definitely make sense. It also tells me the spine is an area that a lot of different things can attach to, especially anybody who's on any sort of drugs or medication. It's amazing how much gets attached to the spine. And the fact that you have that purple or violet here at the tailbone, it actually tells me, one, that Spirit is working with you on some forgiveness issues right now so that you can really let go of some stuff. The brown in your heart, I'd say, okay, yes, we need to increase circulation. Even though it looks like the circulation is really good in your legs, we still need to increase it in the heart. I'd probably say, okay, maybe we need to look at how much you're opening up your heart in intimate relations. It's like, oh, maybe I'll keep a portion of it out because I don't quite feel comfortable to really open up in that. Part of it does feel like almost like mucus in there as well, but that's really more of a temporary thing. So that's why when you're looking at things, part of it's physical and part of it's emotional. And really about 85% of any illness has an emotional component to it. And so it's always good to heal and work with the emotional side as well as the physical side. Okay, Doug? Somebody else, if you will please share so I can help. Okay, no one volunteered. Thank you.
I didn't really see colors.
Okay.
I was imagining the string, and the string was just bright. It was bright all the way through it.
Good.
I'm not seeing anything. So
Okay.
what does that say?
Well, it really depends. With the fact that it was bright, could you actually see your facial features, or was your face covered up?
No, I actually didn't see any features. I think my skinning was more maybe on the feeling.
Okay. All right. So you were going more kinesthetically.
I didn't even know how to see it, but I was more feeling it.
Right. Okay. Okay. Couple things. Sometimes when you see a lot of bright light, especially a white light, it can be that there's some really high stress levels and your angels are working with you to help guide you through the stress levels. And I do think that probably it might be better to work with you to help you understand from a kinesthetic to look at things emotionally so that you can connect in and read that more. Tony is begging me with a timeout that we need to come to a close. I'll be happy to step outside, pass out cards, answer more questions. Please know that in body scanning, it takes practice. It takes time and learning to decipher the messages and things that you see.